Alrighty, hello everyone. My name is Crabmuffin343, and today we're going to do the spoiler review of, or at least my take on the Antman and the Wasp Quantumaina, since it's very fresh in my mind still, even though it's been a couple of, like a week or so ago that I saw the film. It's still fresh to me, and I just need to get a few things off my chest, because, man, let me tell you, that movie was not very good. And the more you think about it, it's one of those things, like I've stated in the first film first review that I did, and even though I spoiled a portion of the film just to highlight my issues with the film, I didn't really get into the full nitty gritty of most of the film. Anyway, I'm out here, if you guys are wondering, taking care of this little puppy. She's just busy playing in the snow and just having a fun time. So if you're wondering why I'm outside, middle of the night, end of my night shift, and also to take care of this little puppy who's being a goofball in the background. At any rate, so that's why I'm outside. So anyways, back to the review, since this is not going to be an edited video, so I'm going to be as quick as possible. So in the spoiler technically free review that I did on this channel, I mentioned some things that were kind of spoiler level, like how Kane the Conqueror, he landed into the quantum realm, but he still had his ship, his time traveling ship or chair or whatever you want to call it. I haven't read all the variations and versions of Kane the Conqueror. All I know is that, like, Bess is eating in the rotten apple, sorry. Normally in the stories of Kane the Conqueror, the best way to trap him is to remove his time machine. Like, if you remove his time machine, he's pretty much fucked. Right? Pardon my language, but that's basically it. So anyway, he still has his ship. His ship is partially damaged, and it was like one of the engines or something. And I mentioned that how Hope's mother, that's Ant-Man's squeeze, his like, or Hank Pym's wife, basically, that was trapped in the quantum realm. Oh, sorry about the light there. Was trapped in the quantum realm for a long, extended period of time. She basically, number one, didn't tell anybody about what she was doing in the quantum realm to begin with, which that's another stupid plot hole that could have been easily fixed. I don't know. Number one. And number two is that, like, where was I getting at? It wasn't so much that she didn't stop Kane the Conqueror. She tried, right, that they mentioned in the story. But it's the fact that she somehow read the mind of the ship. I've already mentioned this in the first part of the review, but she reads, like, the ship, like, it has, like, this technology where it can, if you touch it, it reads your mind, and you can operate the ship or chair or time traveling machine that Kane the Conqueror uses. Anyway, she reads into his mind and sees all the horrible things he's done in alternate realities and stuff like that, and then immediately goes, "You're pure evil." And he basically, instead of saying, "Oh, well, wait a minute," you know, because normally Kane the Conqueror will say something along the lines like, "Well, wait a minute, I had to do this in order to do this in the future, blah, blah, blah." He has some excuse. No, he just simply says, "No, I'm pure evil. I'm just pure evil. So I killed everyone," you know, like, just that sort of deal. It's hard for me to describe. Again, I can't remember all the exact lines and details, because some of it I kind of missed because I had to go to the washroom partway through the film. But basically, it's just, overall, it's just really bad writing. And I've mentioned that in my kind of other part review. But the main part I wanted to get into was about, oh God, Bess is digging a hole. Fuck, sorry, I'm getting distracted. I shouldn't be doing this video out here outside, but I don't really have any other places to do this kind of videos and stuff. But at any rate, back to the review. Sorry, I got distracted again. The thing that really ticked me off was the introduction to MODOK, the mobile organism designed only for killing. Now, in, like, the story in the comics and stuff, I haven't really read into all of MODOK because I wasn't really interested in that villain until recently. Like, I've actually gone in and read about MODOK, the mobile organism designed only for killing, even though he's just like a head with the little twiggy arms and no body. He is pretty a ruthless villain, and he's a really tough villain, right? Like, he's not, I wouldn't say he's like as tough as Kane the Conqueror or as Thanos, but, you know, he's pretty up there. Anyway, so how they introduced Kane the Conqueror, I didn't really enjoy. It would have worked better if they didn't have all the damn jokes, like I've mentioned in the first part of the spoiler-free part of the review, where, like, there's just too many damn jokes, especially the part where, was it Cassie, I think is her name, Antman, like the Stephen Lang's daughter or whatever. She, like, beats the shit out of MODOK, and MODOK, which you find out is actually he was the Hornet, or wherever it was, the villain in the first film. You find out that he survived, and his head was super big, but his body was super tiny or something. Alright, so MODOK, he was put into the chair on life. So basically, Darren is his name. He was put into the chair on life support and stuff, and, you know, the whole bit would have worked if it was more serious. Like, it made sense. Like, I could see, like, he could be, like, you could technically argue saying, well, that's a version of MODOK that Kane the Conqueror created. I wouldn't have a problem with that. Like, I don't have a problem if you announce in, like, these Marvel films, or, like, this is a version of Deadpool that was created by making a clone, or this is a version of Wolverine, or this is you know, I don't have a problem with, like, different versions if it makes sense. It worked, I guess you could say, the outline of the story, and it would have been interesting if he was more of a, what I'm trying to get at is, I wish he was more of a serious villain. And he wasn't serious, he was just a laughing stock. All he was a guy in a wheelchair with blasters and weapons, and I just kind of go, really? This is it? And how he died, it was so dumb. Like, I don't think I mentioned this in the first part of the spoiler-free part of my review on the film, but there's a part where, like, Kane the Conqueror, he announces that, like, look, the version that you see is apparently a version of the Kane the Conquerors where he killed all the Avengers. He's wiped out a bunch of people. He's done this, done that, this terrible thing, that terrible thing, and you do see him, like, kick ass and kick a shit out of a lot of people by himself. But the thing is, he does this incredible, huge speech where he's like, I've beaten every Avenger, I have squished rebellions, blah, blah, blah. And then the next minute, I'm, like, watching, and as the battle persists, all Cassie, Steven, and Hope, the Ant-Man, the Wasp, and Ant-Man's daughter, they get into a fight with Kane the Conqueror. Now, it was a cool battle, don't get me wrong, but I was just like, this is stupid, you know, and so it looks like they're losing, and then all of a sudden, old Hank Pym, comes out of nowhere with the ants. By the way, the ants got sucked into this, like, portal in the beginning of the film. I probably got into details in the first part, so if you want to take a look at it, it's on my channel and stuff. I'll try to remind myself to put down a link so that way you guys know this particular part. But anyway, these ants that were learning how to use technology and stuff, they evolved over millions of years and essentially became technologically advanced. Well, these technologically advanced ants that were from Hank Pym's lab, Hank Pym and these ants, they began to communicate, and I guess in the end of the film, basically, the Hank Pym uses the ants, and I saw it in the movie, they used the ants to kick the shit out of Kane the Conqueror. They just grabbed him, ripped apart his technology, and basically defeated him. And yeah, he didn't die in that scene, because, you know, when all the main characters are about to leave the quantum realm and stuff and to go back into reality, Steven, the Ant-Man, he basically gets into hand-to-hand combat with Kane the Conqueror and ultimately throws him into against the repaired core that Ant-Man helped repair and stuff for Kane the Conqueror. And, like, the whole bit was stupid because people don't know this, but Kane the Conqueror is even though he doesn't have his time machine, he's a dangerous villain. He could kick the shit out of all those ants, right? He's been through worse, and that's what I'm trying to get at. Like, it just went on and on and on. And I get it. They're trying to show Kane as the next Thanos and stuff like that. But it's just the way they do it is so stupid. Like, it didn't make any sense. But at any rate, that's kind of my spoiler review. Just like in the technically spoiler-free review that I've done of Ant-Man and the Wasp, I will still say, after watching some of the clips, because I refuse to watch the movie ever again. It's one of those Marvel films, like, I don't know if I stated it in the first part, but it's one of those Marvel films where I just kind of look at it and go, I don't want to see this movie again. Like, I really don't want to. And it's just one of those Marvel films I don't think I want to see it again. It was just too stupid. Like, it was way too stupid. And Marvel films, like, back in Phase 1, Phase 2, weren't that stupid. They were, even at the end of Phase 3, Phase 3 was amazing. And it just, I don't know, it fell apart for me. But at any rate, I'm not going to go into full detail. You get the picture. It wasn't a very good Marvel movie. It was meh. I mean, the visual effects were pretty cool. The one thing I will say, and I forgot to mention this, I'm kind of all over the place, so I apologize. But the thing I couldn't understand was they introduced Bill Murray in the movie as some character or something that, like, the rest of the other main characters get to meet, and he lives in the quantum realm and stuff. And it's like, I don't even really recognize him. I don't know if he's like a Marvel character or something like that. Like, I don't know who he is, right? Like, a lot of it was really goofy. There's a lot of characters that were in there that, like, I didn't know who they were. Like, again, I never really read, unfortunately, any of the real comics about the quantum realm and stuff. I know about it based off of from some of my friends that have given me a brief description of what it is. But it didn't make sense with that scene. And it's like he dies. Or dies. In the end of that scene and stuff, like, they had Bill Murray there just to go deliver just dialogue, enough dialogue to keep the story going, and that was about it. His character gets basically killed, or at least his fate is unknown. Like, it was really dumb. But at any rate, I better get going here because Bess is just like, you sound like you're destroying stuff in the background. Are you destroying stuff in the background, puppy? Yeah, just having fun. You don't give a shit about Ant-Man and the Wasp. But at any rate, that was my spoiler review. Anyways, I better pack this in and get this uploaded and stuff. And yeah, more videos will be coming out shortly. Probably a lot from my phone and stuff. Again, I'm going to have to, one of these days, have to back up a lot of the videos and stuff that I have on my phone. And, so that way I don't lose them, like the raw footage, so to speak. But at any rate, hope you guys enjoyed this kind of rushed, unedited review, or at least my thoughts on the spoiler review of Antman and the Wasp Quantumaina. All I gotta say is I hope Marvel can dig themselves out of this one. I hope they can somehow do better, like with Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I really hope so. Like, man, I was just not impressed. So anyways, not hating the actors, not hating any of the performers and stuff. It's just the writers just didn't do a very good job. Bess, what are you doing? Get out of there. What on earth are you doing? Get out of there. Come here, you shitbird. Hey, get out of there. God, she's grabbing something out there. All right, I gotta stop this video. All right, see you. Bye.